Yo, what is up guys, it is Haz here and welcome to another Minecraft video. Today I'm going to be showing you one chunk houses, or houses that fit in one chunk would probably be the best way to put this. So first up we have an old style medieval little house. This is one that you could make with an overhang and a few windows up top maybe. But I left it completely with no windows and I didn't really think about the overhang until I finished the build. And I didn't really want to revamp the whole build. I've had a little balcony at the top so you can look out, as like that is the only place you can really see out of. There are no windows in this build. And inside I've done a small bit of interior. As you can really see, one chunk is 16 by 16 blocks. So where you have a 16 by 16 workspace, there's not a lot you can do. I probably could have made the house bigger, but I wanted to add these little torches out front. Literally just for aesthetic purposes to make it more badass. And as you're walking towards the house, you're probably gonna look like you don't want to enter it, as these torches do look pretty intimidating. So I've done very basic inside designing interior. 2 furnaces, anvil, craft table, like kind of essential items. I've managed to make it downstairs, and that's where I've stored all my chests. It was a very pain in the arse. You kind of have to hold shift here just to get down this last part. However, it works, so that's all that matters. Obviously, if you make something similar to this, you can always make the downstairs actually fit, unlike some. Upstairs, literally just a little seating area with some glowstone lights, 2 chests, and then you head out to your balcony. You can see your little torches, or your big torches, and just look out to your world. There's nothing really you can do from here, just literally a small lookout. So that's all that's inside for this build. The outside literally just decorated with cobblestone. Been using cobblestone stairs just to give it this little indent. Looked like it's been a bit smashed up, or been sitting around for a while and started to decay or break. Just to make it look more old, and as if it's becoming slightly abandoned. Maybe the guy who's in it now is just becoming he's re-inhabitating it. I don't know if that's a word, but he's just like there to improve the build itself. He's just basically found the house. So that is the first build. On to the next one. This is the next build. It is a modern house in one chunk. This took quite a bit of effort to do, as I am really bad when it comes to making modern houses. I know it's all about some sort of making things overhang and fit, and everything seems cubey to me, and it's all like Tetris, and I'm pretty bad at Tetris in general. So this is my take on a modern house in one chunk. I thought it actually kind of looked nice. I did put quite a bit of effort into this. Only downside is the back of the house. I personally would have brought the top layer out more, and I feel like I should have done that to give it a bit of overhang at the back. However, I've managed to make everywhere else overhang, and I think it looks pretty good. So let's take a look inside and just around the area. So you come up your stairs, you got your swimming pool with your beach towels or your towels. You got 2 sun lounges out here. I've encased everything with glass, because glass tends to be more of the modern thing. Instead of fences, glass seems to be... If you ever go to a fancy restaurant or bar, or just somewhere, they usually have an outside area that's just covered in glass, or not covered in glass, but has glass railings around the edge with a little silver bar on top. So I kind of went for that feature with this. Next up we have a little bush, simple, and I didn't really know what to do for the door, so I just added one of these I think it's an IKEA door, as it just looks more modern than the rest. Inside, literally, I don't think I've done anything to the inside of this, so you have plenty of room here. I'm not really sure what I would have done with this area, to be fair. It's quite a small area, and I'm not very good at interior. So then you go upstairs, and you've just got another little glass railing. You've got your bedside table with a massive double bed out front here, and then that leads out to your balcony. I've just added a lot of these glass windows, because seems to be a modern effect, or modern thing, to have glass everywhere. And obviously in the ceiling you have your lights up there. You could actually add some up here, but it does look weird to me. I've added some solar panels on the roof to make it more modern, as a lot of modern places use, or houses use, solar panels. That's the one. Keep saying should never say Anyway, this build was completely made of concrete and glass, bit of spruce wood, I believe, and spruce wood slabs. I think there's black concrete down here too, and apart from that, that is pretty much all the build. I noticed that modern builds tend to be a more white and black colour with lots of overhangs. and just general odd shapes. Shapes that look like L's. There's a lot of L shapes in these builds. So yeah, put a little plant outside just to give it a bit more vibrance, you know, a bit more decoration. I hope you guys like this build. If you want to build it yourself, it's not fun, and I don't know. Personally, I never really build modern builds, but if you guys like it and use it, that would be pretty cool. So let's go on to the next one. Build number 3. This is a more of a fantasy style build in my opinion. We have a little terraformed mountain. I'm going to say it's a little one because it is very small. It's more of a hill. Basically I've made this purely out of hand. Went around in a circle and kept going up slowly and slowly. And then added vines and bushes outside to make it look like it's been here for a while. Replaced the stone blocks with cobblestone and added cobblestone slabs so everything doesn't look too perfect. Then I've made this entrance that you can come in. It's just got your basics on the floor. If you build this in survival, just be careful of this massive door and mobs coming in. You might want to build like a moat around it or something and have it floating in the sea, so it's like a massive mountain in the sea. Then you come up top, you've got another floor filled with chests and things, and then you have your top floor up here. It's all made of wood, and pretty much the whole base is made of just oak wood. Apart from the mountain itself, you will need to make that from stone and cobble. The weather skulls are just purely to make the design look like you've killed plenty of people, and these are your foes or enemies that should have not, like, basically you should not come up here. This guy's killed and slaughtered many people. Just showing off how badass you really are. I've added this little light bit in the roof here, just so it's not too dark everywhere. It's literally just a base to intimidate people, really. This top bit is more of a watchtower, and you kind of live inside of the base itself, inside the mountain itself, like you've dug it out and you live in here. These carpets actually do have glowstone under to provide you with some light. Everything in here is made from cobblestone, stone, oak wood planks, and oak wood fences, I believe. So this build doesn't really take much to actually finish. You will need quite a bit of these items, I will say that. But to fit something like this in a 16 by 16, I thought was quite impressive. This bit up here does feel relatively clunky to me, and maybe I should have went with a different design, but I'm kind of happy with it. It definitely gives off more of a fantasy styled like orc base up in a tower that you shouldn't really go past, like something in World of Warcraft, which is definitely something to take notes from. Anyway, let's move over to our 4th chunk. Chunk number 4. This is completely sci-fi, fantasy, and completely wacky. If you ever want to build this, I recommend building a tower on top instead of building some rooms like I did. If you build like a wizard's tower, it will fit the theme so much more perfect, and I've only just recently thought about this, of why I didn't do that. So anyway, all I've done down here is just dig out a circle and just kept going down and further in until you get to the middle and you meet completely. So all this is a circle. If you type in Minecraft circles, you can make one of the circles, and then you just keep going in and in and in and in, and the circle gets smaller, and eventually you will meet in the middle down there. And I've basically done exactly the same in the sky, except I've placed some blocks here and there to make it not look too perfect and more natural. Place some leaves, vines, and bits of grass all around the edge to make it look overgrown and like it's been sat here for a while. And then I've put this water stream as your way to get up into the base. Once you're up in the base, you will see that you have a roof of ruins, and all these bits of stone around are just like collapsed, and there's vines and leaves up on top to give it more of the effect that it's been sat here for a while. Then your base will be pretty small, and there's not a lot you can do up here really. It would be pretty cool to have more of an enchanting base up here. I've done that in my survival world. However, I recommend turning this into a mage tower. That would be a lot more cooler. This is literally a really simple base, and it's quite good for stopping you getting any mobs coming near you at all really. If you light it up, you're not really going to have hassle from mobs while you're in your base. Although if you're on the floor, you probably won't have mobs hassling you, only you probably have a door. But yeah, it's a pretty cool one to... It's just really wacky and cool, I think. I don't really see anybody using it, for obvious reasons. It's a lot to build in a survival world, and you probably don't really gain a lot. But I kind of wanted to show it off anyway. So I've just literally gone around the top with slabs, and it lowers down where these pillars are, because I've made these stone walls, cobblestone walls, actually lower on this side. So I had to make the roof itself sloped down to be lower than the rest. So it looks like it has kind of fallen over in its time of being awake, which is pretty cool, or being alive, which is pretty cool. Anyway, let's head over to my new chunk one build, or one chunk build. And this one's probably my favorite one. I reckon we should definitely have more of these in the sand biomes. So let's take a look. The final one chunk build. This one is my favorite. It's a sand castle slash sand house, and it's really cool. I added these marquees just for like shade, because obviously if you're out in the desert it's going to be pretty hot. You got some dead bushes, buttons to look like stones, and just a bit of floored detail going on as you go in the house and on the walls here. All made from sandstone, sandstone blocks and sandstone stairs. Then you come indoors, you've got a little sofa in here, you've got your workbenches and your furnaces. I haven't really done much to the interior of this. Chest under here, brewing stand. This you could either leave hollow, or what I've done here is included a little watchtower slash room. You could add anything into that. And then you head upstairs and you have your bedroom right at the top of the stairs. 2 chests, one sitting on a little shelf. You can come out onto your balcony, there's a few bits up here, and just look over, and then you can go back to your other balcony, which is up here. This base, you could probably expand and actually make it so you can get up to the top floor as well. I think this is really cool. I think more villages should be more villager houses should look like this. I know completely that Mojang have gone for a basic villager house, but the basic villager house just seems too boring. I feel like they need to really spice it up a bit and add some of these new houses just to give it more flavor to the game. When you find a village, if you found a house like this, like a bunch of houses like this, it would look more cool, make it feel like the town's more alive, and just leave these little leave some little markets around so you look like the town is actually, it's an economy instead of just a bunch of people sort of struggling to survive out there, and you're just coming along and stealing all their stuff and making it harder for them. I just think they need to update the villages. But oh, that's a weird one. Yeah, they should definitely update the villagers village. Especially in sand biomes, I reckon this would be a good little build for them, to be honest. Yeah, this is purely made of sandstone slabs, sandstone stairs, sandstone blocks, green stained glass, cut sandstone. It started off in one square, expanded into another square that got taller, and then I made another square that got smaller. It was a really simple build, and if you just play around with your builds if you make a build world and play around with them in that, you can always build them into your survival. I always use building in this world, for example, and then moving things into survival, so I don't have to spend millions of times in survival placing blocks and playing around with things. It's going to take me 10 times as long as doing it in your build world. So I always recommend doing that. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more. Yeah, and peace.